Everyone, from me, Brent Graham, welcome to this stage 19 betting preview of the Tour de France. Just before we get started, if you do enjoy these previews, please hit the like button. It helps the channel a stack. Right, let's get into the action now. Starting off with a wrap of stage 18 and what a stage it was. It was everything we'd hoped it was. It would be. We had a break that took ages to form. The guys went so hard. And then we had Pogacar trying to attack Vingegaard, even on the downhill, Vingegaard almost coming a cropper, and then Pogacar himself coming off and still managing to recover and ride back. On the final climb, though, it was Vingegaard who proved too strong. He made it a successful betting day for us. We had him there at Vingegaard over Pogacar. We also had winning margin at 14 to 10, which seemed a generous price over 10 seconds. And that came in quite comfortably. He actually won that by just over a minute. I have to say, what an incredible team performance from Jumbo-Visma. All of the guys pulled their weight today, including Sepp Kuss, who managed to get back to Vingegaard a couple of times to help him out up that final climb. But not only that, Wout van Aert, what an absolute beast of a rider. I mean, this man was trying to get into the breakaways. If we have a look at the stage profile here, he was trying to get into the breakaways early on. I mean, he was actually not just getting into the breakaways, he was starting the breakaways, and he did this on multiple occasions. He then rode hard. He ended up dropping climbers like Pinot and that, who you would have fancied to win the stage at that point. And he just rode on. Then still managed to drop Pogacar when he was on the front and Vingegaard was sitting second wheel. And ultimately hung on for third place. An unbelievable performance from Wout van Aert. And I've got no doubt in my mind this guy can win a Grand Tour. I'm almost certain of it, I can tell you. Right, let's you see my mug there for a little bit as well. As we get into the have a quick look at the jerseys, but it's all over now. Unfortunately, from a spectator point of view, it would be nice for a few of the jerseys to go down to the final stages. But really, we're just going to have some battles for the positions. Vingegaard now is too far, 3:26 ahead of Pogacar. Thomas 8 minutes back in third place. I can't remember the last time we had such big gaps between, for example, first and third. Just going down there, Gadu, really impressed with him. He loses ground early on the climbs and just keeps on going. He finished fourth. He is fourth. And Quintana there, 13:35 in fifth. He looks fairly solid there. There is a chance that Vlasov could take him in the time trial, though, because Vlasov is only about 40 seconds behind him. So he could. Louis Mankey's leapfrog Bardet today, so he's up to sixth. I don't think he's going to hold on to that sixth spot, though, because I do expect Vlasov to come over the top of him in the time trial. I'm not too sure against Quintana if Mankey's has got a chance here, but I don't think so. So Mankey's, I am expecting him to finish seventh. So very impressive stuff there. Not really much value in looking at the classifications. All the classifications are pretty much done now. So let's have a look at the stage, and then we'll come back and have a look at the betting. So bringing up the stage here, we've got 188.3 kilometers. And this, on the face of it, you'd say is one for the sprinters. And no doubt some of the sprinters, and I've been very surprised that we haven't had more sprinters abandoned. In fact, we've seen guys like Jakobsen killing themselves to get to within the time limit over the mountains. And credit to that, we've got a lot of sprinters. And for that reason, you'd have to fancy that this could be a sprint stage. But remember, it's never straightforward at this stage of the Tour de France. Why? Well, we've got some incredibly tired legs in there. It's been a hard run race. Honestly, some of these stages have been absolutely brutal. It's been hot. It's just, there are guys that are weary. So a lot of teams are down to just a few men as well. So it's not going to be that simple. A lot is going to depend on what type of break gets away. Will we get a fairly weakish break being allowed to go clear and kept on a leash? There certainly are a lot of sprint teams who will fancy their chances of bringing it back together. And then just these couple of Cat 4 climbs further on. I mean, this could also be the springboard for late attacks. We've seen that happen at the end of Grand Tours in the past as well. 2 kilometers at 6.2% with 50 to go, and then 1.6 Ks at 6.3%. Now, they're not the hardest of climbs, and if this stage was, day one, you would say sprint finish for sure. But you can't be 100% sure at this stage of the Tour de France. Just to mention that the final, there's a slight ramp at the end. It's nothing significant at all. I think it ramps up by about 2.5%. But once again, at this stage of the Tour de France, it might mean that the tougher sprinters have a bit of an advantage. So let's have a look at the betting, and then I'll take you through my selections. I'm having a bit of fun with my selections today. Philipsen 5-2. He's won his stage now of the Tour de France. He certainly is not troubled at all by the final 2.5%, and one of the quickest left in the race. Fabio Jakobsen, geez, I don't know. He is tremendously fast, but the way he's been suffering over the last few days in the mountains, I'll be very surprised if he manages to get up for for the sprint finish. Wout van Aert 15-4. Well, Wout, I mean, a normal human rider, you would say, has no chance of winning it after what he did today. But this man's powers of recovery are absolutely unbelievable. And yeah, if it comes down to a bunch finish, I'd have to say of those top three even there, I would probably have my money on Wout. Dylan Groeneweg, and yeah, I mean, if he's there at the end, he's very quick. Some narrow roads at the end, not ideal for him. He's not the best at getting in position, and this looks like the sort of sprint where you don't want to be coming from too far back, or even though you've got that bit of a rise. Mats Pedersen, the finish should suit him quite well. He's got quite a good team supporting him. Interesting to see if he tries to get into the break. Certainly, I'm expecting the likes of Jasper Stuyven to get into the break. And I do think the break has a chance in this stage. That's what. So Caleb Ewan, I thought he was going to abandon a few days ago. He's managed to come through the mountains quite well. This stage should suit him. Once again, position could be a bit of a problem. He's quite good at it, but he certainly doesn't have a strong team to bring him in there. Peter Sagan also should be a factor here. He's 18-1. But let's get my bets up. Let's not beat around the bush any further. These are my bets on the Tour de France stage 19. I'm going 1 unit, Danny van Poppel, top 3 at 7-1. My reasoning here as well, Van Poppel, he's a decent sprinter, and at this stage of the Tour, he appears to be fresher than a lot of the other riders. Should handle the uphill sort of gradient towards the end quite well. So I'm going Van Poppel at 7-1. And then similar logic applies. I'm going Christoph, top 3 at 8-1. Christoph certainly hasn't looked his best in this Tour, but he is someone who always gets stronger and stronger as other guys. I think it's more a case of other guys getting tired, and he holds his strength. He's got a lot of stamina. And yeah, could certainly, if there's a bunch sprint, I don't really see either of these guys winning, and that's why I'm not going to bother with the win prices there. But I think, and I'm hoping at least one of them can run into the top 3 and ensure a nice profit on the stage. Right then, let's go for some win bets here. Quarter unit on each of these. So even if I lose, well, I'm probably going to lose all 4 of these, but because they're 200-1 and better. But I'm putting a quarter unit on. Pascalon, he's Christoph's teammate now. I fancy he might try to get into the break. But aside from that, if Christoph is having a bad day, which is not impossible, it might be that they decide to sprint for him. He's impressed me in this Tour so far, and yeah, who knows? He could be there at the end, 200-1. And then Kron at 200-1. Kron has been trying to win a stage. He's had bad luck. He's been, probably picked some of the wrong stages to get involved in. I can see this man going in at the break. Just a question, I guess, of whether they rather want to put all the eggs in the Caleb Ewan basket. But I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the top sprinters teams actually try and get a guy in the break so that they don't have to chase so hard. Anthony Turgis, he struggled early on in this Tour. I'm a big fan of this guy. Obviously, Peter Sagan will be their main rider, but Turgis, he's someone who can get into the break. And if he comes to his sort of classic form from early in the season, then don't discount this guy. He hasn't done much in the Tour, but I'm hoping he's in better shape than he was early in the Tour. And you just never know. This is the sort of guy who could come home. And have I spelt his name wrong? I think I have. Let's just go down here. Brent Vanmour, he's 400-1. Haven't seen much of him. There's Turgis at 400s and Vanmour. Sorry, I spelt his name wrong there. In fact, I'll do him the credit of spelling it correctly. Just correct that. As you can see, the Tour is getting long and hard for me as well. Let's have a look here. Brent Vanmour. I'm not even saying it. Okay, I'm spelling his name wrong. It's as simple as that. Brent Vanmour, 400-1. I'm going quarter unit on him there. He's at one stage struck me as he could become like a Thomas de Gent breakaway specialist. So if the lot are going to put some guys in the break, then I would expect that he might be the guy to go forward there. Well, that's it, everyone, from the Tour de France Stage 19 preview. We'll be back on Friday night or Saturday morning with the time trial preview. A pity that yellow won't be decided in that time trial anymore. But, we've still got a good time trial to look forward to, and we'll pick out some bets from there. And then, of course, Sunday's Champs-Élysées stage. This should be an absolute cracker. I would hope that 1 or 2 of my long shots give me some sort of a chance, but more importantly, that one of my 2 selections in Christoph van Poppel run into the top 3. Enjoy the stage, everyone. We'll chat soon.